Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nirisha Sriramuchu, one of the trainer in Sankyana Consultancy Services. Today, we are here to discuss about how we can submit free text format from CRFs. So that's what is today's topic. So let's see today's agenda. What we are going to discuss. So we are going to discuss about non-result and result variables, non-result and result qualifier variables. Apart from that, we will also see in topic variables how we can submit free text from the CRF, and also we will see into the concept like multiple values for variables, and variable lengths, also how we can define the length for that particular variable, what should be the length. And later we will see about coding and control terminology. That is what we are going to use in STTM. We will see one by one. So first let us discuss about non-result and result qualifier variables. So before moving to that, what is this free text from the CRF? Let's see. So sponsors often collect the free text data on a CRF so that we can supplement a standard field, and this often occurs as a part of a list of choices accompanied by either other specify. So the manner in which these data are submitted will vary based upon their role. Now coming to the specify. The specify values for non-result qualifier variables when free text information is being collected. So we are going to supplement a standard non-result qualifier field, that is the free text value should be placed in the subqual dataset or relating non-standard variables values to a parent domain. So when applicable, your control terminology should be used for subqual field names, that is either it can be QNAME and their associated labels, it can be QNAME or QLabels. For example, suppose when a description of other medically important serious adverse event is being described, so the category is collected on a CRF. The free test description should be stored in your subquels, that is of adverse events dataset. So it comes like AE SMIE will be S, and your subquels AE QNAM will be AE SOSP, like that it is going to get denoted, and your Q label will also be like other medically important serious adverse events. That is what we will describe in the QNAM or as well as the Q labels. So another example, if we can consider for CRF, where we are going to collect reasons for those adjustments with additional free test description. So your free test description should be stored in sub EX dataset, that is EX adjacent, whereas non-medical reason, or else your sub EX QNAM or your Q labels, where reason for dose adjustment, what is the reason, that is what we will specify in the QNAM or Q labels based upon the sub dataset. We can also note that your QNAM references the parent variable name with the addition of your DSC value. Likewise, the label is a modification of your parent variable label, right? So when your CRF includes a list of values for a qualifier field, which can include other, and the other is supplemented with a specify. So free text field, then the manner in which the free text specify value is submitted will vary based upon the sponsor's coding practice and analysis requirements as well. So for example, consider a CRF which is going to collect the anatomical location of administration. So it can get consider as EXLOC, the location of a study drug given as an injection. So the location of injection, right arm, it can be your right arm, right thigh, left thigh, and other. That is what we are going to specify. So an investor has selected other and specified upper right abdomen. That is where your injection site is been there. So several options are available for submission of this data. So if your sponsor wishes to maintain controlled terminology for that location variable field, and you can also limit the terminology to the 5 pre-specified choices, then the free text is placed in your subquel of your EX domain. If the sponsor wishes to maintain control terminology for location, but will expand the terminology based upon the values seen in the specified variable field, then the value of your location, EX location, will reflect the sponsor's coding decision, and sub EX could be used to store your verbatim text as well. It can be your abdomen, QNAM, QLabel, QVal, EX location, other. So other location of your dose administration, it can be your upper right abdomen. So you can also think that sponsor might choose a different values for his EX location. It can be upper abdomen, torso. So depending upon the sponsor's coding practice and analysis requirements. So if the sponsor does not require that control terminology to be maintained and wishes for all the responses to be stored in a single variable, then your EX LOC will be used as sub EX, which is not required. So EX location, upper right abdomen, it is going to specify values for your result qualifier variables. When the CRF includes a list of values for your result field, that includes other and the other, that is supplemented with a specify free text field. So then the manner in which the free text specify value is submitted will vary based upon the sponsor's coding practice itself and also the analysis requirements. Say for example, if we can consider a CRF where the sponsor requests the subject's eye color. So eye color can be brown, black, blue, green, other, specify. So an investigator has selected other and specified bluish gray. As in the above discussion for non-result qualifier values, the sponsor has several options for submission. So if the sponsor wishes to maintain control terminology in the standard result field and the limit the terminology to the pre-specified choices, then your free text is placed in your original results and the control terminology in the standard results for character as well. So coming to the test, that is SC test, which is being performed for eye, that is for eye color, and the results can be bluish gray, and the results that is the standard results for character, you can specify the value as other. And if the sponsor wishes to maintain control terminology in the standard result field, but will expand the terminology based upon the values seen in the specify field, and then the free text is placed in the results that are original results and the value of your standard results character. So they are going to be reflected based upon sponsors coding decision itself. So test can be your eye color and the original results can be your bluish gray, and the standard results character can be gray. So if the sponsor does not require that control terminology to be maintained, the verbatim value will be copied to your standard results character, and your SC test, that will be your eye color, original results will be bluish gray, and the results for character, that is standard results character, will be bluish gray. So you can also note that rules for the use of others specify for the result qualifier variable, maybe objectives is are like variables unique to findings about. So specify values for topic variable interventions. So it can be in specify your values for interventions, events, and findings. Now let's see about interventions, how we can specify the value. So coming to the interventions, if a list of specific treatments is provided along with other, comma specify, that is your treatment should be populated with the name of the treatment found in the specified text. So if the sponsor wishes to distinguish between this pre-specified list of treatments and those recorded under other specified, then the prescription or pre-specified variable could be used. So you need to indicate which of the following concomitant medications was used to treat the subject's headaches, it, whether it is acetaminophen or aspirin or ibuprofen or naproxen. Other you need to specify. If ibuprofen and diclofenac were reported, then your concomitant medication data set would include either uh, ibuprofen, that is treatment, CM treatment, and CM prescribed specified, we are going to use S, and then the treatment, it can be diclofenac, and the CM prescribed or the prescription specified will be null, because we have only ibuprofen, naproxen, aspirin and acetaminophen, but we don't have this diclofenac. So that's the result of, or the value for your specified is null. And now let's discuss about events, topic variables for your events class. Other specify. So for events, it may be handled similarly to your interventions as well. That is, a term should be populated with the description of your event found in the specified text, and your pre-specified values could be used distinguish between pre-specified and free text responses. Coming to your findings about, so sorry, findings. Others specify for test may be handled similarly to your interventions as well. So your test code and test values should be populated with the code and description of the test found in the specified text. Suppose if your specific tests are not pre-specified on a CRF and the investigator has the option of writing free text for tests, then the name of the test would have to be coded to ensure that all your test code values and test values are control terminology and are not free tests. For example, a lab CRF has test of hemoglobin, hematocrit and other specify. The value for the investigator may be writing as for your other specify is prothrombin time with an associated result and the units. Now the sponsor would submit the control terminology for this test, which is like your LB test code, that is PT prothrombin, and your LB test will be prothrombin completely, prothrombin time, and multiple values for your variable for your interventions or event topic variables. Let's discuss. Suppose if the multiple values are reported for a topic variable, may be in treatment, in an intervention general observation class dataset, or term in an events general observation class dataset. So it is assumed that the sponsor will split the values into multiple records, or otherwise it will be resolving the multiplicity as per the sponsor's standard data management procedures. Say for example, if an adverse event term of headache and nausea or a concomitant medication of Tylenol and Benadryl is reported, sponsors will often split the original report into separate records and or query the site for clarification. So by the time of submission, the data sets should be in conformance with the record structures described in your SDTM IG itself. And you also need to note that your disposition data set is an exception to the general rule of splitting multiple topic values into separated records. And for disposition dataset, one record for each disposition or protocol milestone is permissible according to the domain structure. So for cases of multiple reasons, even for your discontinuation as well. And coming to your multiple values for a findings result variables. So if multiple result values, say for example for your original results are reported for a test in findings class dataset, multiple records should be submitted for that test code. So let's consider one example for EG test code values. It can be like RHY rate. On coming to your EG test, it will be rhythm and rate as a value, and coming to the original results of your EG, it will be atrial fibrillation. Similarly, you have for results atrial flutter. So in this case, what the sponsor's operational database may have a result sequence variable as a part of your natural key. So some sponsors may elect to keep this variable in a supplemental qualifier record, while others may decide to use either SPID or sequence to replace it. So dependent variables such as your result qualifier should never be part of your natural key. And coming to the multiple values for non-result qualifier variables, your SDTM will permit only one value for each qualifier variable per record. So if multiple values exist, then the value for your qualifier variable should be multiple, and subqual domain, it should be used to store the individual responses. So it is recommended that your subquals QNAM value reference the corresponding standard domain variable with an appended number or letter. So in some cases, the standard variable name will be shortened to meet only 8 characters variable name requirement, or it may be clearer to append a meaningful character string of the drug name which are being appended. So likewise, your Q label value should be similar to the standard label. The Q value stored in QVal should be consistent with the control terminology associated with your standard variables, and relating to your non-standard variable values to your parent domain for additional guidance on maintaining how appropriately unique QNAM values are being generated. And let's see in some cases where the values for your QNAM and QLabel more specific than those above may be needed. So for example, a sponsor may conduct a study with two study drugs. Example, let's take one open label study of abscissine plus xyzamine, and may require the investigator access casualty and describe action taken for each drug for that particular rash. So in each of the above example, we are going to use subqual AE, that is should be documented in your metadata and your annotated CRF, and the control terminology used should be documented as part of value level metadata. If the sponsor has clearly documented that one response is of primary interest, that is in CRF protocol or any analysis plan, the standard domain variable may be populated with your primary response, and subquels may be used to store the secondary responses or response. So for example, if abscissine is designated as a primary study drug in the example, we can say that the latter case, the label for standard variables like your relation to your AE and action which we have taken for the adverse events will have no indication that they pertain to abscissine. So this association must be clearly documented in the metadata as well as your annotated CRF. And coming to the variable lengths, let's see that concept of variable lengths as well. Your variable lengths, that is very large transport files, have become an issue for FDAs so that they can process it. But one of the main contributions to the large file sizes has been sponsors using the maximum length of your 200 for character variables. So to help rectify this particular situation where the maximum length of 200 is being taken for character variables, the maximum standard SAS version 5 character variable length of 200 characters should not be used unless unnecessary. And also sponsors should consider the nature of the data and apply reasonably. that is appropriate lengths to that particular variables. Say for example, the length of the flags will always be 1, and also the test code and id var will never be more than 8. So length can be always be set to 8. The length for your variables which use control terminology can be set to the length of the longest term which is there in your control terminology. Now let's discuss about the coding and control terminology assumptions. Before moving to that, we need to understand what are the types of your control terminology. So your control terminology is represented one of three ways. It can be a single asterisk when there is no specific control terminology available at the current time, but your SDS team expects that sponsors may have their own control terminology, and or the CD's control terminology team may be developing control terminology, or else the third one is like your, or the second one is like here, a list of control terminology for the variable when values are not yet maintained externally, and the last is the name of an external code list whose values can be found via the hyperlinks in either the domain or as described in the control terminology as well. So in addition to the control terminology or control terms code list or formats column that has been used to indicate a common format such as for your time ISO 8601. So this is the common format we use for your time, right? So this will be representing as mmddyy10 dot. And coming to the control terminology text case, so it is recommended that control terminology being submitted in uppercase text for all cases other than those described as exceptions, like deviations to this rule should be described in the define.xml. And if the external reference for your control terminology is not in the uppercase, then the data should conform to the case prescribed in the external reference, that is either by means of your Medra dictionary or and well as well as your LOINC, and units which are considered symbols rather than the abbreviated text, maybe like your MG per DL, like that. So the text case used in the definition of your control terminology in the define XML should match the text case used in the data. And the control terminology values, let's see that the control terminology or a link to the control terminology should be included in your define.xml wherever applicable, and all files in the permissible value set for the study should be included whether they are represented in the submitted data or not. And also we need to have a note that a null value should not be included in the permissible value set. So a null value is implied for any list of control terms unless a variable is required. Let's see about use of control terminology and your arbitrary number codes. Control terminology or decoded text should be used instead of your arbitrary number codes in order to reduce ambiguity for submission viewers. Say for example, in concomitant medications, the verbatim and or your dictionary term should be presented rather than your numeric codes. Separate code values may be submitted as supplemental qualifiers and may be necessary in analysis datasets. And storing your control terminology for synonym qualifier variables for events such as adverse events and medical history, it's going to populate DE code with the dictionary's preferred term, and it is going to populate your bodices with the preferred body system name. So if a dictionary is multi-axial, the value in bodices should represent the system organ class SOC and used for your sponsors analysis, and the summary tables, so which may not necessarily be the same as your primary system or class, that is your SOC, and populate your SOC with the dictionary derived primary SOC. So when the primary SOC was used for analysis, the values of your bodices and SOC will be the same. If the Metra dictionary was used to code events, the intermediate levels in the Metra hierarchy should also be represented in the data set as well. So a pair of variables has been defined for each of the remaining levels of your hierarchy. That is, one we can represent the text description and the other to represent the code value associated with it. Say for example, your LLT variable should be used to represent the lowest level term text description, and LLT code CD should be used to represent the lowest level term code value. So one is lowest level term and the other is lowest level term code value CD. So for concomitant medications, you need to populate DE code with your drug's generic name and populate concomitant medication CLAAs. For concomitant medication, supplemental qualifiers is where we are going to use the qualifier name codes for more information and may be used to represent additional coding dictionary information. Say for example, a drug's ATC codes from the WHO drug dictionary. So however, by knowing the dictionary and version what we are going to use, a reviewer will be able to obtain additional coding dictionary information. And you can also have some note like the sponsor is expected to provide the dictionary name and version which has been used to map the terms by utilizing your define.xml external code list attributes for your column names or the variable names. And how we can store your topic variable for general domain models, that is your topic variable for the interventions and events general observation class, where all the models is often stored as verbatim text. For example, your events, that is in events domain, the topic variable is term, and for an interventions domain, the topic variable is treatment. So based upon into which category your domain is, whether events domain, interventions domain or findings domain. In events domain, the topic variable is term, and for an interventions domain, the topic variable is treatment, and for your findings domain, the topic variable will be your test code. So this should be used in your control terminology. Say for example, your SysBP, that is for systolic blood pressure, what we are going to calculate, that is what we need to specify. It can be term, treatment and test code based upon into which classification your domain is, either to events then term, interventions means treatment, and your findings it results to your test code variable name. So if your CD standard control terminology exists, it should be used. Otherwise, sponsors should define their own control terminology list of the terms. So if your verbatim topic variable in an intervention or event domain is modified to facilitate coding, the modified text is stored in your modified variable itself. So in most cases, other than your PE dataset, the dictionary coded text is derived into DE code. So since your PA original results variable is modified instead of the topic variable for the PE dataset or the domain, the dictionary which has been derived text would be placed in the standard results character. And let's see about the usage of yes and no values So these values in the variables where the response is yes or no, or you can write as y or n, should normally be populated for both y and n responses. So this eliminates confusion regarding whether a blank response indicates n or is a missing value. So however, some variables are collected or derived in a manner that allows only one response, such as when a single checkbox indicates yes. In situations such as these, where it is unambiguous to only populate the response of interest, so it is permissible to only populate one value, yes or no, and leave the alternate value blank. An example of when it would be acceptable to use only the value of y would be your baseline flag BLFL variable, where n is not necessary to indicate that the value is not a baseline value. You can note that your permissible values for the variables with control terms of yes or n may be extended to include a u or not applicable, that is NA, if it is the sponsor's practice to explicitly collect or derive values indicating unknown for you, and NA, which is nothing but you're not applicable for that variable. So with this I'm going to conclude my webinar, and thank you one and all for your active participation, and let's meet up in the next webinar with further more information provided. Thank you all.